We're looking at the car that Dan and Noreen are going to buy. Ford. Now we're over at Falls. Don't remember the name of it. It's not too far from. Not sure where it's at. No, I'm a little bit lost here. I can't quite figure out where we're at here. You know, I think we're over at Agnes's, and the kids are waiting out there in the water, and there's still snow there. We were looking out through the south window of her house, and there was a slough there. And now we're over to our place. This is taken down to our pasture.
The boy died of cancer. He must have been the only son.
Lake Hendricks, that's going on. Joanne there. At least I think that's his grandpa clock standing there. Might be mistaken. Yeah, I guess Road Jim's. Been many years ago. Many. Those kids are growing up now. Look like he's 1 year old.
Well, because I don't understand nothing, so.
having a little trouble with the rider, I guess. There's Wally's back. Now we're over at Fritz's, or not Fritz, over to Everett's. Blowing snow off from this sidewalk there. When they lived in Grand Forks. Yeah, that's Everett. The other guy was his neighbor. He borrowed him this snowblower. They had a lot of snow. Everett wasn't wearing no cap, and Edna wasn't too happy with him. He doesn't have any hair on his head, you know, so I wouldn't blame her. It's really a lifesaver, those snowblowers. Okay, here we're at Art Ward's funeral. We're going out of the city. This maybe shouldn't have been here, but I spliced the tapes together as I took them. Now we're having Christmas at Noreen's. If she was closer to me, she'd give me one. Right on this kisser. A crazy string. I think Brian was real scared of that. Now there yours truly got in the picture too. Christmas turkey. Now I'm narrating this in 1993. We were just over and seeing our great-granddaughter. We have a great-grandson. He is 3 years old. Now we got a great-granddaughter. The 2nd of March, 93. Here we're over to Fritz's. They're took out the old bridge and putting in a new one. Lottie and Fritz are in, can't remember if they're in California or if they're in Norway. Anyway, they weren't home. I think they were in California. We were over there keeping his house going when they were gone. A pretty big job. They made a real nice big bridge. Well, there's snow. Can't quite figure out if we're supposed to, maybe we're still in Kansas City. No, I guess we're yeah, I guess we're over Kansas City. I guess that's Fritz's wood pile. We'll soon see. I think that looks like old Fritz out there, putting some wood on his sled or whatever. been a few changes there over the years. Yep, that's old Fritzy. He put on a pretty good sized load there. Now we're over to Den of Noreen's. Noreen bought a pool table down at a auction sale or whatever. I guess that's them and Brad shooting. I had quite a bit of fun playing pool on it. I don't know what that rest area we're at. I think we're on our way to Texas. Oh, we're going to Shreveport. Shreveport, Louisiana. Nice highway. Signs go so fast I can't read them. Evidently we're at another rest area. Pretty fancy one. Louisiana. Okay, now we're over at Joy and James Ace. That's Jamie. Got a birthday. I think you're not quite in time with my music. I notice once in a while the picture on the screen is blurred a little bit. So I guess the movie projector must have blurred. There's James A up there in the door. Oh yeah, there's yours truly getting a licking. I wonder if he was, I think he was 9 years old. Yeah, he hit a little harder, I think. What do you call that thing that goes up and down steps? I think it broke. I forget the names of things. I forget names, period. This was from 1978. I suppose in March. Flowers. Oh, now we're over to hers. My army buddy. That's north of Joplin, Missouri. Asbury is their hometown. Their son had just bought that tractor. Is it a white? I think. That's the milk house. There's her carport again. I think they had a Chrysler too. We had a Chrysler and I think they had one. pork drop. I think we're over at we're over at Henry Ford's. That's Mrs. Ford. They just bought that, sold the farm and bought that house. I think, yeah, Henry died, so it's just Mrs. Ford there. Now we're over to Vernon, Woody Dick. This was taken in '78, and Woody died this year. There with the Nazarene Church. We went over there and took in a church service a couple, 3, 4 times. Oh boy. Here comes the run, huh? There's Pastor Johnson and just waved. And that's his wife. His other couples, him and his wife were parishioners. There's yours truly and his daughter. A couple of the grandkids, I guess. We moved it to some other place. Oh, we're back over to Agnes's and Hendricks. That is Helen Jensen in the gray hair over there. Mark Fryer right close to me here. That's their son pouring coffee. There's Rona, whom we all know. And there's Mark's wife over there, that lady. That's his son. Helen was my 7th grade teacher. She's passed on now, a few years ago. And there's Grandma Josie. She's still pretty young there. My music might be a little bit loud, but I can't go over there and turn it down because I'm sitting in between it and the picture. This deal here is, we went over and seen Robert Hema. And there's a place where they've got the track and the caboose. That's Robert, Neville, and Ron up there, waving. It's kind of cold in the road over there. It's a cafe. And they've got this, now they've got the people and the train. And the cafe's on the other side. Little restaurant, Little Oscar's restaurant. Nice clean place. Almost pretty cold. I think we're over Tweedy and Thomas there. That's their house. No, we're over at Roberts yet. Those kids are playing outside their friend's door. What do you call it? My neighbors to the other side. Come on, Bob, kiss her. That's your stuff. Okay, now we are. I don't know. Oh, we're over to Shorty's. or Sam's. Sam's getting ready for his auction sale. That was Agnes and Walt's motorhome. See, that was... I remember who that was with Sam there. Here comes Clint. Mary Ellen. Not sure there. Comes the fridge. I think that's the Troutner brothers helping them. They're very good guys. Trying to think of David. David Troutner bought the farm. There's all this machinery. All lined up. And then it rained all day. And it was cold, cool. Everything looked nice. Had all the trailers loaded and then had plastic over the top. Served lunch out in the garage. There's the ladies' aid. There they go. What a good crowd. Paul Wagner was the auctioneer. Here comes Lloyd with his big buy. Wading boots and whatever else he had. Oh, that's a little bit fussy. Maybe I got water on the lens. Don't know. I guess here we're over at Rodney and Gwen's place. He built a new house and then he took and traded the house off for a farm that had a bunch of buildings on it. And we're out looking at the property. Looks like made a mistake and maybe this is where he's going to build his house. We'll have to see. Yeah, I was mistaken. This is where he's going to build his house. I don't really know where we're at here. It must be sunset. Everton. Dennis. No, Larry and Larry or Dennis. Well, they're gone now, so you'll never know. That's heading on Everett's house in Rapid City. Looks like we're driving our Dodge there. Here we are over Tricks and Wriggles. Trixie. Oh, on the west side of the east side of Everett's house. I'm turning on directions there. I out in the yard. I don't remember what kind of a parade that was. I wonder if it was Veterans Day. I'm not sure. This was taken in 1979. There, Rodney was building himself a shed. You know where we are there. We go up and see those guys quite often. That's really a piece of art. Too bad the guy couldn't have lived to see his finished work, but he died before it was done. Virgil feeding chipmunks. They'd eat out of his hand, but they got out of there in a hurry. There's my wife, Verona. Hi, Verona. Now I couldn't quite figure out where we're at there. Oh, we're with the Lloyds. We're with the Lloyds. Yeah, we used to have snow when we got over there. That's when they were living in that trailer house. And they bought themselves a house. And then when they were moving, the trailer house burnt up. There was a short, and the gas line hadn't been tightened up entirely. I think we're at Marge's. Gerald Thompson. Gerald and Marge, I think that's where we're at. Oh boy. Now we must be back home the way it looks. Looks like that's Tara. Now they're out on the ice skating. The kids. Brad and Brian and Jen and Noreen, I suppose. Looks like Lloyd. Who it is? I think that's Noreen. Yep, that's who it is. Frost on the trees. I don't know how come I've got that. There, I guess I cleared it. That's pretty. That's God's scenery. God's beauty. Gary Strand, his boys. Dennis, they're snowmobiling. It's Dwayne. I don't know. Good old walls. Dennis. Who's got the John Deere? It must be Gary Strand, I suppose. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't know who those kids are. I know who they belong to, but I don't know who they are. Yep, there's Ronan Rubens. Love Nest. Our home sweet home. Can't think of his name now. Looks just like him too. Yeah, we had a lot of fun with those masts. That was Christmas over at our place, the way it looks. Having fun. Maybe not Bond bus. Sun shining on across the trees. Janine, Emma, Wally, Dwayne, Troy, of course Todd, and Wally's mother, Bertha. Gotta think. Kara. She's a young lady now. Checking out the Dwayne's place. That's Rufus. I don't know what he's doing, but he's got something. That's Wayne's four-wheel drive tractor, and his digger and his drill. I suppose that's me running it. That's my job. Pretty nice outfit, I tell ya. This is Albert Nelson's funeral. Heidi's dad. A bunch of the Nelsons. There's Myrtle. I went to school with her. She's Edna's age. Terrence Nicholson, Cap Nicholson, Mary Nelson. Can't think of the names fast enough. Now this might be Arnt Sanson's funeral. That's Arnt Hanson's. That's over to Tabor Church. He was married to Ruby, Oscar Hemas' wife. Okay, now we're back up to Jim's. That's El's. Oh, it isn't El's graduation. That's can't think of his name. Gary Huggett Shorty. What's Jim's second boy's name? Wes. Wes. Got back too late, didn't I? Now there he is. He graduated. Everybody looks young there. Gary and his wife Ruby. Jim and his new boat. Hi, James. $9,000 worth, I guess. Uh-oh. That's Alan. Wes, I guess. I guess it's water they're using, so it ain't dangerous. I can't remember. That's Jim trying to train a horse for leading. Uh-oh. There comes Rudolph. Now we're over at Dublin. No, I guess we're over at Nisodak. Our family reunion over to Nisodak. Not too many of us there. There's Arnie and Dwayne and Deb. Arnie and Leroy. Trying to think of Leroy. That's a bunch of kids that go there for their break. There's Agnes and Sam, Francis and Ruby, Emma. Here comes Irene and her crew, Sam and Lolly. I guess it's all over with the way it looks. I suppose they were eating and stuff enough. not taking pictures. Josie and Agnes. Wayne and Debbie again. And Joanne. Yeah, they all got in there too. And there's me. I don't know how come I got in there. Looked like a kid there. I don't think I was very old. Now we're over to Gerald Marges. That's Gerald's boat. It's over on Leech Lake. 35 miles from one end to the other on that lake. Guess that's a $4,000 boat there. There's Marge. Rona. Gerald. He was blacksmithing Rosslyn for a while. Yours truly, old farmer. There we're over at the cabin. Sunset. It got dark there for a little bit, but I had to get the thing from jumping. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. A whole bunch of us. That was Hat Day. I don't know who the hats belong to. Fun, fun, fun. I gotta guess a little bit here. Oh, we're over at Danny's cabin, log cabin. Danny and Lil. Over by Nevis. Uh-oh. They look dangerous. Well, I guess we're back home again. That's got to be our lawnmower and our trees. Looks like it's over here on the Hagen place. Yep. It's on the Hagen place. I guess Brad was going out in the field. Oh yeah, there goes Reuben too. He's got his lunch bucket. I don't know what we're going to do. Kids have fun. Whoever's running the camera is kind of nervous. Well, there's old Rufus out digging, I guess. Chisel plowing. That's what they call it. Chisel plowing. Oh, it's Brad. That's right. Brad went out and chisel plowed that field. He was getting to be a big kid there. Nice corn. Robert, Gladys, and Francis. That's when they built onto their house and remodeled it. Built onto the east side. Put up a nice flagpole. Real nice place. German tractor. It's got a front wheel helper. Rudolph and Bertha and Gail and Leroy. There's Ross, Larry, Gladys. This is the Olsen reunion. This is taken out at Pickerel Lake. It's a church deal. I don't know all of them. That's Johnny there, Virgil's brother, and there's Alger. Johnny's wife. Rona was sick in the hospital. Alan invited me over here to the Olsen reunion. I wasn't going to go, and then I got started thinking, well, gee, why not go over there and at least have a good dinner? So that's what I done. Alger Olsen's daughter. Johnny and his wife. They're both gone. Been gone for a long time. This was taken in 1979. There goes Pete. Pete Olsen. There comes his wife. I think that's a Skogan girl there. Ready to take a family picture. Elmer. There's they get away before I can think of their names. Picture doesn't turn out very good in the shade. Didn't know that guy. There's the Olsen kids. There was 14 of them in all. There's Rena Skogan. I didn't know her too well, but Emma always mentioned her. Bunch. I think that's the day that it was cloudy and lightning struck and it hit a tree and Alan Vidine felt the shock go down this system. I think this was the day because I think that's the only time I was with them. Lady now. 79, 20-some years ago. Well, I suppose that's down in our garden, most likely. Now here we are over to Lloyd's house. Pelicans down our slough. pretty shabby. Needed a paint job. This is in 79. That chanty was on there. Quite a few, I imagine. Looks different. Telephone company was out there and checked the lines. Way of moving a building. Work, work, work. Took another down there and built another half on this big. Stand southeast of the house. Used that. Well, it really went up in a hurry, didn't it? Didn't take long, fast worker. Really fast. Wayne and I and said something about where's number 1 Lloyd, I guess. That's Andrew then, huh? Uh-oh, you gotta sign again. I guess we must be over to Rudolph's birthday party here over at Dublin. His 80th birthday. I told him to pretend he was dancing, didn't have the music, so I'd get movies of it. Him and Bertha like to dance. Guess he didn't know what he was supposed to do. Pretty cake. I suppose that's his grandkids and spouses, imagine. Now that is one of the guy boys. Can't think of names. Now here, I suppose that's the same day. kids. Now there's Rudolph's family there. Ralph and Dean. Yeah. There's Russ. I think that's a Wilbur boy to that. I think that's a Wilbur boy. And there's yours truly back in there again. He gets in on a movie once in a while. Kids are having fun. There's Ralph, or Merle. Merle and his wife. Great song. Yeah, now we're back on the house again. That's different. Guy putting in the security light. Wayne and Deb snowmobiling. That's over here. Maybe she's scaring, oh boy, scared going off. Okay. A little bit lost here. Oh, we're over to Whitey's. That's Rose's daughter. No. No, Edmund Everett's. No, Edmund Everett's. Figure out who that. Oh, it's Ollie and Ollie, Whitey's cousin. And Judy, Whitey. This is taken in 1980. I was going to say that's ducks out there because the ducks come up from the pond. The pond is open all winter. They got ducks over there and they take and throw breadcrumbs out and stuff while they come up there and eat it. They were cleaning the snow off from the sidewalk. It looks like rain. In fact, it looks like a storm. Know where we're at. I'm lost. I think this is when we went up to Janice and Dean's, or are we on our way to, well, maybe we're on our way to Casper. Yeah, we're in Casper. Solly. Guess I'm back again. Hope that ain't been that way very long. I hope. That is spoil our season entirely. That is a 600 house that they lived in. Really pretty. Really pretty. They're on up in the mountain and this is looking down. And Casper, well, that is looking at the deer there. There's some more deer. We could have deer for breakfast. Becky and Everett and pick up a little lane. That's Dennis's girl there. I don't think their names now though. Sorry girls. Sorry kids. Now that's the fireplace. Kitchen. Kitchen and dining room. There comes Dennis and now we're looking down on up on the mountain higher now. Looking down on Casper. Casper, Wyoming. That's the way Wyoming looks. I don't think we were driving. I think I was standing up on the hill there, but I must have been driving kind of shaky, I noticed. Let's see. I'll maybe get down below there pretty soon. I guess we're on a different place. I think we went out to a lake where they used to swim. So I must be shooting through the window. Oh, now we're up at Dennis and Jan's. That's their house. A little camper. Pretty. My better Frau. I think that is people on the other side. See if there's ice on that lake. I suppose that is open water. Just imagine. Looks like the Black Hills of South Dakota. Badlands. Pretty. I think either Larry or Dennis is telling us how they used to ride down and swim in there. Ooh, long ways down there. Hi, Rufus. What do you think you're doing? People live there. That was a fun trip. First time we've ever been out there. Now we're up to Dennis and Dan's place again. That's their playground for the kids. Grandpa Herbert. Well. Okay, we're back there at Don Everett's, the ducks. They don't like to feed them because they make a mess around the place. We found that out in the race ducks. They're really messy. Nice ones. Somebody went out there and fed them. And they all come. All mallards. If they're off the street, the people slow down for them and let them get through before they keep going. There's Leslie and Marlis. They're out there too. Guess they're leaving now. Their son Larry lived out there, so we went out to visit him. There we're shoveling snow again. And there comes Rufus too. Well, I must have been young there the way I walk around. Makes quite a difference, I can see that. Here we're with the Lloyds. There's Olga and Lloyd and Olga. Oh, here we're over at Andover threshing deal, I guess. I think it's Andover. All them little pumps. Pulling 2, 4, 6. Must be an 8-bottom plow, I guess. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's over at Andover. It's on wood. Little miniature steam engine. Maytag washing machine. I took and fixed up a little toy for the kids. Like to watch those old gas engines. Here comes the old thrash machine. Little steam engine with the water tank behind. Good old John Deere. Another homemade outfit. Case. Foxy horses. The old cars. The fun we used to have threshing grain. That was fun. It was work too, but a lot of fun. I never worked for the steamer. We always had oil pull and gas tractors. Got a bicycle there. Now that's an old timer. Uh-oh. It must have been a squatter. People really fix things up, don't they? For fun. Come on, put her up there. You can get it up, I guess. That's Pa and Ma's old way of sporting. The old buggy. And then they got the Model A Ford. That was a little bit before my time and after my time. That the right way to say it? Wasn't quite old enough for Model A. Quite a parade. There's a pretty Model A. Fire department, wherever that belonged to. Here comes Ed Blank and his International. Hi, Ed. Leslie Marlis. I'll bet you anything this was over at I said Andover, but I'll bet it's Waubay. Yeah, I can't even think his name. Biscards. Yeah, Biscard Farms. Now they have their tractors, engines. I don't know if they've quit it, I guess. Never seen any more of their stuff around. He was married to Rose Balco. Rose Balco died young. Oh, that is a greased pole. So you can climb the greased pole and they get a pig. Now I guess we're back over on Pricker Lake. That's Gary Nelson with his sailboat. Brad and Brian and cabin, that's why they stopped. Looked like Brad and their friend Jim. Can't figure out whose boat that is, if it's Skip Hansen's. Could have been, but maybe it ain't. Oh, I think this is out at the World of Fun. Alice and Warren there, I don't know who's running the movie camera. I don't think I was out there. So it says World of Fun on the deal. I guess there I am. Guess I must have gone along. Must have been in about 1992, I guess. Or, no, 1980? Up in 1990, it's 80 or 81 maybe. Gotta guess.
Here we're drilling well over at our place. Anderson, Rob Anderson, on the drilling.
Filling in the dirt. It's all over with. Now you can see the new well deal. Okay, now we're back over to Fritz's. That's Brett and Kane, Brad and Brian. Brett and Kevin are on there. There's Sandy and Kane. Brett's car. Smoochers. Okay. Here we're over at... Yeah, here we're over helping Rodney build his house. Out of Rapid. We're shingling and the guy's building the chimney. This was in January. guy doing the chimney. It's a fireplace, so it's a big chimney. Yep, that's the house. That's down below. I think they were building one too. In fact, I know they were building one. I guess we're out fishing there. They must have been playing and working the way it looks. I don't remember what lake it's on. Looks like quite a few of them out there fishing. Boy, that was a big one. Oh yeah, throwing us. She catches them. That is sort. Yeah, that was quite a deal. Guy had a ski. Let's see now. We call it a sailboat, and he had a ski boat. I think where they went to. Okay, we're back working again. Looks like we got most of the shingles on. I can't just remember, I think we had the thing finished just about when we left. Let's see. Rodney never built a house before. He just bought a book and studied up on it. He built that shed. That's what he first built, and then he went ahead and built this one. And it was built good, I'm telling you. I think the roof was 3 sheets of tar paper. We're having our dinner. Wasn't too cold either. I'm sure it was January something. I can't remember how long we stayed out there. I can't remember how far it was from Virgil's over there. 14, 15 miles, I think. I made a nice chimney. Can't remember now what they call those shingles. Well, we're back to fishing again. That's Virgil. And there's Tufts and Rona. And we're back to work again. Getting closer to finished. That's his heater he put in. There we're over to Lloyd and Kathy's. And that's the neighbor's place. Now we're up to Jim's the way it looks. Yep, up to Jim's. That was a shed that took and made a house out of. Well, there's Jim's big house. There we're ice fishing out in the
hills. Toots and Virgil and Rufus and Rona. Had to put on some more music, but we're still fishing. I just wonder if that doesn't, that's Big Bear Lake, that's Big Bear. I think I went over there on the ones. Got some fish. Big Bear. Just a great big rock with a bunch of trees growing out of it. Looks like. Uh-oh. No, I guess that's Virgil. I thought maybe it was Rufus that got one, but I guess it's Virgil. Must have pretty good luck. He just fool around, I tell you. He takes them, guts them, and peels them off before we give up. I don't know who that is. There it is. Bear Buick. Now there Virgil's doing his lawn. He's, can't think of what you call it now, but digs up all the old grass, then he goes with his other outfit and picks it up. He made that thing too. He was quite an inventor. And he put the stuff in his pickup and haul it out to the dump. He done his own, and then I guess he had quite a few neighbors for different jobs that he done besides. Uh-oh, Mayflowers. I don't suppose it is, but they look like them. They were putting it in the pickup. No, it must be a trailer, I guess. Puts it in the trailer, and then he takes it off to the dump. That's his boat trailer that he fixed up to haul that round on. And he'd go and do other jobs. Out in the Badlands, I guess. On our way home, Toots and Virgil went with us. Just imagine that maybe what it is. Maybe I'm mistaken. Yep. Badlands it says. Toots and Virgil drove 50 miles to follow us out. Oh, there's Everett. We must be on our way to Williston. Maybe that's where we're at. Now there we are in Williston. Over at Janice and Dean's. But they never took us over there.
okay. We're getting a good picture. I hope. Now there's Dean. Now I don't know where we're at, but we must be going someplace to eat, though it looks. And also we just finished. Oh yeah. We're on our way to Dalfouches. Oil rigs. I was taking that through the cars we were driving, and I never stopped up there at that oil rig so we could see it work. He was diesel mechanic on those machines. I guess he had to help set them up, get them leveled up, get the thing going. That's his job. Lots of pipes. I think they've got a bunch of water down there. Some place that's kind of a cooling system, I believe. I can't remember though. I don't know if we'll get over to it or not. It's quite a setup they got there. Now that's who we work for, Noble. Oh, now we're over to Everett's aunt. Now we're back in the hills. You can see George Washington's face from a certain side of that mountain. Cleaning the fish, or I guess we're having lunch. Now we're over to Fighting Goodies. We sure get around. Now that's their house. Now we're over to Eggy and Joanne, and Grandma. Over at Hendricks. I don't know if we're coming or going. Here we're over at Rona's Navy girlfriend in Iowa. But Vernon and Agnes. Vernon and Agnes. Now we're on our way home, so we're in Minnesota. We shut the movie camera off and then put it on, so that's why we're scattered, hipping and skipping, jump here and there. There we had Robert and Evelyn's in their deal upstairs where they rent. Now we're heading for Rochester, maybe. I think we're at Orny Hemma's place in Rochester. Orny was a relative that we finally caught up with after quite a few years. Oh, this is, we're over to Moodies now. This is Thelma's painting class. We got a place in the basement of her house where she teaches China painting. I don't know if this is China here yet or not. She started out with ceramics. Now it looks like it's China painting. We had all these gals over painting, so I took my movie camera and took movies of her stuff. Really pretty. Really pretty. Those gals just keep on painting like I'm not even there. Music is kind of loud again. Now there we are upstairs at William Dalmas. There's Bruce. That's before he's married. There's Sugar. That's their dog, Sugar. Bruce is moving.